What's going on, everyone? We're here, 45 Lampkin Lane, another episode. This is episode 2. We're basically just gonna try to shoot the shit until Jeff Mickey calls in. He's a longtime friend of mine again, same with Mike Aspinwall. Like last week, he called in, and shout out to Mike Aspinwall. That was a pretty interesting story he had regarding the Halloween comics and how he actually was a character. Jeff's a mask maker, and Jeff really taught me everything I know about mask making, pretty much. He's like a master mold maker, and it's quite hard for me to do molds, so I give him high props for that. Everyone thinks the work's in the sculpting, but the work really comes in the molding process and all that. So I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Might not do much WWE or UFC on this episode. Jeff's really a mask guy, and he's also Canadian, so it'll be interesting. I'm going to ask him about some, how they do it in Canada and stuff like that. We'll probably cover some Halloween 2018 news that I read about. Not the best news, but not the worst news. But before we don't talk about UFC, I wanted to say props to Michael Bisping for taking a fight so damn quick. And he got knocked out. Apologize, I don't have the other fella's name on hand here. It was such a quick, I didn't even know he was fighting. That's kind of like a problem with the UFC. Like, I'll be on the internet the next day and it'll be like, oh, blah, 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 knocks out, blah, blah. It'll be like 2 names I would love to see fight. And I'm like, oh, shit, I missed that. What the fuck? And, it seems like they do a lot, but I always miss it because I guess, my brain is programmed to think they don't do a lot. Because, they just, not recently, but they just started sort of getting, going and doing things very periodically and frequently and all that, so. But hopefully tonight will be a good show. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Last week I had some good viewers, but we're going to try and hopefully expand that. And I actually have Jeff calling in now, so hold on a second. Hello?
Hello? Alex, is it you?
Yeah, it is. Wow, I don't know why my phone does this weird thing, but it makes a dial tone when I'm talking to people.
Constantly?
No, well, sometimes. I'll be, talking to Mike Aspinwall on the phone, and I'm like, hey, did you just, hit a dial button? And he's like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. It, makes me think someone's listening.
Tinnitus or whatever, ringing in the ears or something like that?
What's up?
Maybe you have, tinnitus, ringing in the ears, any kind of war injuries or anything? Talking about?
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm going to try and set up the phone here to see if, hopefully, it caught Mike Aspinwall pretty good, but I know you're out in British Columbia, so.
Yeah, British Columbia, Canada.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you sound pretty good, so that should be okay. I'll turn up the mic gain.
Yeah, I took my iPhone out of the OtterBox, because I know that Ash would tell me, I can't hear you and stuff, so.
Yeah, you don't sound terrible, though. So you were telling me you guys celebrate Thanksgiving in, October or something?
October, yeah. So, not November, but we do celebrate it here in November in terms of Black Friday, but that's another thing altogether, right?
Really? That's weird.
Yeah, well, it's just retailers just trying to make a buck, right?
So it does have a a relationship with Black Friday itself. Excuse me.
Yeah, we started doing Black Friday maybe 5 or 7 years ago. We started having Black Friday deals here because what was happening was because I live close to the border, so a lot of Canadian people would be heading across the border for Black Friday. So the retailers here say, "Hey, man, how can we capture some of this and maybe even get some of the Americans or the Canadians to not cross the border?" And the dollar's so crappy, and it's been crappy for years. Let's keep them here. So they started offering all kinds of deals.
Oh wow! Oh, that's very interesting.
But I don't think they offer television sets for $8 or anything like that. But still some deals.
Oh yeah, I mean these. There's people that are straight up beefing, like throwing hands for like $20 off an Xbox. So here in America,
yeah,
at
like,
least.
Sure, they do have some deals like that, but it's kind of the same as like Boxing Day here in Canada is big. And when I talked to Ash about it, she's like, "What Boxing Day sales?" But here, like as long as I can remember, Boxing Day sales were sort of like the Black Friday here in Canada.
Oh, okay.
People would line up at midnight, like Christmas night. They'd start lining up at midnight on Boxing Day, to get into Best Buy or Future Shop, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much like Black Friday. You got fools out there just chilling in the whatever winter, whatever it is. I shouldn't say winter, but
crazy, man.
It's ridiculous.
So do you guys have like a Boxing Day sale there?
What, like Black Friday?
Well, yeah. Do you have like Boxing Day sale? Kind of like, is it a big promoted thing there in America? Because I know that Ash says it doesn't. She never heard of it in California.
Yeah, I've never heard of that either. But I mean, I can tell you that Black Friday is similar to what you're talking about. You got people that are lining up at the door and they're straight fighting. Last year, actually, somebody got trampled in Walmart and murdered. I mean, not murdered, but killed. Manslaughter, whatever the charge is.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine the mentality
I was
too?
Yesterday, and we didn't have any of that. For some reason, because I was with my father, my 93-year-old father, and we went to the mall yesterday, and it's Black Friday. People are moseying along. I mean, the parking lots were kind of full, sort of like your Christmas shopping sort of thing. But inside the mall, it's kind of dead.
Yeah.
People are just kind of doing this thing. I didn't see any kind of craziness to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. I mean, I bet there's some hot spots where it's like shoes are a big one, and the electronics and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, we celebrate here.
Yeah, but I haven't heard anybody being killed in Canada on our Black Friday, quote unquote, or even on Boxing Day. People are probably saying, "Oh, sorry," like they do get kind of crazy, but they're not stomping on each other.
That's so funny. Oh, sorry. When you bump into each other.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry with like 3 O's in it, right? Sorry.
Yeah. I feel like such a piece of shit whenever I think about it, because whenever I hear the voice, all I can think of is South Park, because I've never heard any like Canadian reference in America other than like South Park creators being dickheads in their shows with it.
Yeah, there are a few different dialects in Canada. Like, I'm Western Canada, so I don't sound like out of Eastern whatever, and in Toronto, Ontario, that's what they say, the carriage in the house, and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of the more English-sounding accents. It's just with, like, a little twist, I guess.
Yeah, I've been told I kind of, I pronounce things more. Like, even I say, like, mom, M-O-M, I say mum, like with a U. Mum, my mum, not mom, and just subtle things like that, and I just pronounce things. I say things like process instead of process. I don't know.
Yeah, my mom, I was going to say my mom because she has such a heavy Boston accent, but that's kind of how we talk in Boston. It's a little different. Like, instead of saying car with an R, it's like car. It's
car.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Yeah, it's so stupid. I have a friend,
Rob Dean. He's from Boston. He's totally having the car.
Yeah, I don't talk like that. I don't know why I didn't pick it up. Maybe I do. I don't know. But other people tell me no, you don't talk like that. So.
No, I don't detect that. I detect an American-ish accent, but there's so many different parts of America. It's really fascinating.
Yeah. So, but anyways, so you're a fellow mask maker like myself.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you did anything like that? Because I know it's been a while. We won't get into issues or whatever, but like I know it's been a little bit since you've been doing the process. Because I know you moved and shit like that, so that's obviously keeping you busy. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I started in 2011 and ran till 2015. So the last I did was Fan Expo in 2015, I believe. Then when I separated, so it's been over 2 years now since I've made masks. But I did recently move my mask molds and my master copies and stuff over to my new place. So I have stuff kind of established here, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So I mean, what was the first mold you got?
Ooh, the UL-75 from Chris Schmalo. Spelled SVMAJLO, Schmalo. He was just outside of Chicago.
And totally forgive me if I'm wrong here, but he passed away, right? Oh, we lost Jeff here. All right, let's try and call him back. See what we got here. We'll try and call him back real quick. He's out in Canada, so...
Hello.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah, we lost the connection.
Yeah, that might happen. So how does it work when I...
telling you about my sexual exploits and everything, and I get cut off in the middle. I don't know where I left off.
Yeah, I was going to say rest in peace, right? Because didn't he pass away, or am I totally wrong on that?
Yeah, he did. He did in, I believe it was 2011, because that's when I acquired the mold for the UL-75.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I would always see he was like, what, Black Cat, right?
Black Cat Productions, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like he had, like, the craziest shit, but, like, I'd be on eBay and I'd be like, I would message with him back and forth. I was just a little shit, like, tire kicking and shit like that, being like, hey, you got this, you got that? And he'd always answer all my questions, so he was always good to me, you know?
Yeah, and he called everyone pimp.
I don't remember that, but, some people just got that. They're so funny, their characters, really.
Yeah, he was quite a character.
And, he died in, like, a boating accident, right? Like a freak accident?
Yeah, it was actually July 4th.
Oh, wow.
I believe it was in 2011, July 4th, because I think I acquired the mold the fall of that year. So, yeah, he was out on a boat, and they were like, where's Chris? And apparently he fell in the water. And there was a report of another boater that did see him that kind of surfaced and then sunk back down.
Oh, jeez.
That was it.
Yeah, you got to be careful on boats because people don't realize they're really similar to vehicles. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not saying you need to sit on.
I think 27 years old, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying sit on a boat and wear a seatbelt or some shit, but definitely like be cautious and all that. I'm not saying he was an idiot and died. Obviously, I'm just saying, that's how easy it is.
Was involved too, right, to some degree, and that's gonna go.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. I fucking love. First of all, I'm obsessed with, like, live PD and stuff. I don't know if you guys know what's up with that. Like,
Yeah, I watch that pretty much every weekend at the group home. One of my clients watches it.
Yeah, oh my god, it's the best show. But they have, like, I watch Cops and all that shit, too. And they do, like, boating. They have boating episodes in Miami. And I always see these guys in boats getting pulled over and shit. And they're like, well, they know that you can't drink and drive on a boat, but they're like, oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, you get a boating license, that's one of the main things, right?
Yeah, they don't think it's that, like, serious of an offense, and these guys are going to jail and shit. It's like, dude, you can't do that. But, I mean, even if you're not driving and you're drinking, I'd be cautious as shit around, like, the railings and shit, because I'd be so worried.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah, you hit the water, it doesn't take much time before you start, like, inhaling it. That's scary,
Oh, yeah, and because... That's why I don't want to go on a boat, is because I know that dude was like, he was young and stuff. I've seen pictures of him and stuff. I mean, it looks like, he could hold his own, whatever. So it's just scary that a guy like that can lose control. So what's going to happen to me? I'm like, I'm not saying we're the same dude or nothing, but it's like, Yeah,
I mean, Chris did like MMA stuff. He was shredded.
Oh, really? Yeah. So, see, I mean, I wrestled for a long time. I don't fancy myself a fighter, like, professionally or anything like that. But I've been in a lot of street fights and shit like that, which is not something, I guess, to be completely proud of. But, yeah, so, I mean, I can hold my own as well. And it's still, that's what I'm saying. It's scary knowing you could hold your own, but it doesn't matter what you can do if you're on a boat and, like, Mother Nature wants to take your ass for something like...
Oh, yeah. Just even the waves, man. If you're talking 18 inches of waves that are, like, hitting you or whatever, like, who knows how long. It's just, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm an EMT, so I've seen people drown in, like, amounts of water that you're like, how did they drown in that? But it's like, it happens, dude.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to drown, I hope it's, like, sub-zero temperatures. So like 3 hours later, they could revive me or something.
Yeah.
There's some amazing stories, when it comes to, like, really, really cold water and stuff, right? I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to mess with them.
So, what was I gonna say? Do you plan on getting back into the mask game anytime soon, or are you waiting for something?
You know, I'm hoping so. I just finished like a small business course. Like where I currently live, there are areas where I could actually do some casting in the carport, in the back of the house. I could set up airbrushing and all of that. But I want to actually get some space to maybe some commercial industrial space.
Yeah.
But if I do that, I need to take it a step further and actually start selling some stuff.
Right.
As well as doing, expanding into props and things. So I sort of have some ideas, and ultimately I'd like to have a coffee and collectibles shop. So that's kind of the ultimate step. And as well as, have a heavy online presence selling maybe movie props and stuff, which I've done also through eBay, and it's been quite lucrative.
Yeah. I remember you had the... I was so shocked how long it stayed up, too. It was the Harry Warden costume.
Yeah, but I found the right buyer, a buyer who's totally into horror, has an amazing collection. He was in Utah at the time, and he's relocated to Florida now. And I'm so happy that it found a good home.
Yeah, was that that was a screen used costume?
Yeah, it was probably the second most complete screen used Harry Warden costume from the remake of My Bloody Valentine.
Which
have the
wasn't bad.
Gas mask, but it had the helmet, had the coveralls, and then had the production used cap lamp and stuff. So
Yeah, that was dope, dude. I was like, I can't believe, it's funny, you and I, we got the buddy James Azrael or whatever. He does the...
Oh my gosh.
He's got the museum props, so that's cool. I mean, I would have liked to... I don't know, he wasn't really heavily doing it even then at the time, and I'm obviously not going to call him.
He wasn't at the time. It's been heavier in the last, I'd say, 18 months or so.
Yeah.
With his preservation, with the props preservation there,
And I won't get too deep into that, because hopefully we'll have him on sometime or something, and, hopefully we can...
That would be fantastic. I'm, fascinated by that stuff.
Yeah, I'd love to have, you, me, and even Mike Aspinwall on here, too, but it's just, right now I'm doing the phone deal, so it's just... I don't know how to fucking three-way on this shit and all that. And if we get picked up by a sponsor or something like that, then we'll talk and stuff. I'll get
Oh, then things will just explode, buddy.
Yeah, I'll get people mics. I don't give a shit. I mean, I like having hosts. It's fun. Co-host, whatever. I don't like to say co-host though, because I just like to shoot the shit with people on here.
Yeah.
But so back to the masks, and you were at the. Tell us what that was. That was the fan expo you went to? That was in Canada?
I did that for 2 years. I did that in Vancouver. I did that in 2014 and 2015, I believe. I did 2 years in a row.
I think I saw a picture.
The second year was really fantastic. I sold I think about 30 masks or something like that.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I think I saw you at the Saska
pre-sales as well as post-sales as well as during the event.
I'm sorry, man. I totally cut you off. You're going to have to say that again.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the second time I did it, I brought, I think, 30 or over 30 masks, and I basically sold them all. Some as pre-sales, some as, during the event, and then also afterwards. So I basically sold everything that I brought. And if you go to the Headless Asylum Studios, page, you can see photos of all, the whole layout.
Yeah, and we'll totally lay out your whole studio name at the end there. So were you walking out of the convention you're like, damn, I still got 3 masks in the trunk, and then you see some schmo and you're like, hey dude, you want to see what I got in the trunk? This is cheap.
Was mostly online.
Oh yeah.
I sold a couple things through eBay, but also through some friends too. I mean, Dan Henry in Colorado. Hi Dan. He bought the Deadite White Witch, which was the first prototype that I did with the EC Comics Witch, and I had I think 5 Swamp Things that I sold.
Oh wow!
So
the Swamp Thing, yeah, that thing's sick too. Yeah, I wanted to have a table. I'm a mask maker as well. Jeff knows that, but just for whoever is new listening, and I wanted to have a table at Rock and Shock this year, but it was I don't know. I'm just so stupid. Not literally, but it's I wait, and then it's 2 weeks till the event, and I'm like, you know what? I want to do that. So I messaged my buddy. His name's Michael Cosgrove. He's a good friend of mine too. I've known him since childhood, but he's really good with promoting. So every time the shows come around, he'll do Rock and Shock. They'll be like, hey, you want to work? and he'll work the events and stuff like that. So I asked him, and he said he could probably get me in there, but you know, at that point, it's like, what can you really do? I didn't obviously hold it against him because he tried, but it's like, you know, I would have had to gather the money. It wasn't that expensive, though, but I would have had to gather the money and all that. So usually when I go to conventions, I just dress up like an idiot, wear a mask or something that I made. And hopefully, you know, sometimes people are like, where'd you get that? And then I give them a card and sell it to them later.
Yeah, I mean, there's some preparations involved in that. I mean, for that Expo, I needed, I think, about 2 months prep time to be ready for it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah. So it's like, I always procrastinate, and next year, I think I'm going to do it. Because I think I was, like, scared, and then I was like, no, I really want to do it. And then, obviously, it was too late.
Well, it's worthwhile. The first year, I sold 3 masks. You know, I had half a table. You know, the second year I had 1.5 tables, so I had a good spread, you know. The first year was 3 masks. I kind of broke even, but it was a great experience.
Right, yeah, so it's like, you might not make all your money back, but it's like, who cares if you get a good experience, maybe some exposure.
Yeah, exposure for sure. You know, I had, like, the fridge magnets I was handing out and the cards and stuff like that, so yeah, it's great.
And what I actually cut you off with was, You met the Soska sisters, or is it Soska? I don't know how to spell it.
Soska, yeah, they're local girls. They're local women. Yeah, they're movie filmmakers. They're actually going to be working on a remake of David Cronenberg's Rabbit, I believe. They've been working on that. They've worked with Kane.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
In See No Evil 2, I believe.
Yep.
You know, Get Hooker in the Trunk was their first feature. So yeah, I got a chance to meet them and my daughter too, and. They're just absolutely adorable, so down to earth, you know. And then also that was the first time I went. And the second time I met Herschel, you know, from The Walking Dead. Scott, I can't remember his name.
I'm not a huge Walking Dead guy. I'd totally be like, oh, it's this guy.
Yeah, he approached my table. It was on the Sunday. You know, people were lining up for his autographs, and he was looking around. And as soon as he saw my table, he made a beeline for my table because it was the only kind of horror-themed thing there, really. A lot of his comic books and anime.
Oh, okay.
And he was looking and touching my masks, and we basically just talked about how I got into masks and stuff. Didn't talk about The Walking Dead at all. It was great, you know. And then he high-fived my daughter, and then the rest of the day she was gushing, you know.
Oh, yeah, those are big stars, man. The Walking Dead, that thing just took off. It's weird with the conventions now. That's pretty sweet that happened, too. But
that was very cool. Scott Wilson, there it is, Scott Wilson.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the guy with the ponytail.
I mean, Herschel is my favorite character on The Walking Dead. He still is.
Yeah.
You know, it's, 8 seasons in, and he's still my favorite character. So that was actually pretty thrilling to talk to him for about 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine. You sort of got this weird mix at the conventions now, because it's like Walking Dead is like horror and comic, kind of, so...
Yeah, that's true. It's like it crosses both, right?
So I always see different people there, but I saw that picture of him at your table, and he's the guy with the ponytail, and right? Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know much about The Walking Dead, but yeah, there's like a really good picture of him standing outside of your table, and
he was just a regular guy. We didn't talk anything about The Walking Dead, which was very cool because he probably gets a lot of that. And, you know, I want to, but it's like, no, you know, let's enjoy the moment. And he was asking me questions about how I got into mask making and stuff, so that was very cool.
Yeah, and it's cool when they can sort of break down when they realize, like, okay, this guy isn't like a mark, you know what I mean? He's not going to go crazy and ask all these fan things, so I can sort of open up and ask him what's going on. And I guess if you have like a table, you want to be
that way when it came to kind of sort of famous people or celebrities or whatever. I don't get that way because we get that all the time.
Yeah.
You just want to treat them like people. It must suck to be like treated like that all the time, right?
Yeah. That you made me think of a funny ass story. What's Ken Foree, or is it? What's his name? The guy that played...
Oh, Ken Foree? Oh, Dawn of the Dead? My favorite.
Yeah, and he played Big Joe Grizzly in Halloween.
Yes.
We were at Rock and Chalk, and it was me, my buddy Brian D., another good friend of mine, hometown friend, and he was doing all this crazy shit at his table, man. And, like, we walked up, just like, crazy antics and shit. We walked up there, and he's like, oh, everybody who's here to see me, I need the boys over here and the girls over here. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I do it, and then he comes out and he's like, what's your name? And it's like, you know, her name's like whatever, Ashley or something. He's like, what's your name? I'm like, I'm Alex. And he goes, all right, now y'all shake hands. Like, to cut a long, funny ass story short, we don't have too much time tonight because I'm gonna try to keep it under an hour again, I think. But he was basically playing this funny, like, you know, pretend dating game and trying to like hook us up with fucking
That's awesome.
with these girls there, and like that was his way of meeting fans. He wasn't, so it's like when you talk about like shy or being a celebrity dick, it was just nowhere to be found. He was just so fucking goofy, but I just thought that was funny.
Now with Ken Forey, I would lose my stuff because like Dawn of the Dead is like the ultimate for me. So any of those guys, and I regret not getting a chance to meet George Romero. That was like my ultimate. You know, like for me, it's like Rick Baker, George Romero, and Dick Smith. You know, the makeup artist for The Exorcist and The Godfather. Those are like the top three. I'd like to meet Elvira too. You know, because I'm a producer, but she's kind of a force. But I mean, those three. So George Romero, when he died, that was like, shot to the heart, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. It's like a, you know, legacy gone.
Yeah, and the fact that he lived in Canada for the last, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, or I don't know how long. He lived in Toronto, I think, mostly. So I was like, oh my gosh.
I feel like a lot of people, I don't know, is it quiet up there or something? Is that why a lot of celebrities are like, oh, I'm in Canada? Or is it just like, I'm in Canada, fuck you, I'm not in the USA, leave me the fuck alone?
I don't know. It's pretty chill here. Like, people are actually pretty nice and pretty polite and stuff. I mean, I noticed a difference when I would go to California every 6 weeks over the last, 2 years. It's different.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
I don't know. It's pretty awesome here.
Well, I would say if you want to really know how America is, maybe not try California as the first place.
Yeah, I'll try Texas next time. No, I don't know.
Yeah, and you might not even want to go there. Nah, I'm just kidding. But it's like every state is like themed, and California's great, but it's just so different from the rest of the United States. I feel that it's like you're not gonna get a false perception of the USA because it's fucking part of it, but at the same time, it's like
it's like that with Canada too. Like West Coast people are pretty chill. When you go to like Toronto, it's different, right? They're so close to like Detroit and stuff. And you go to the Maritimes, and you can't even understand what they're saying. Their dialect is so strange; it's hard to even tell what they're saying.
Man, that's crazy. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I know one thing
for sure.
But
I do love California, though. California's amazing. Yeah.
How long did you spend out there?
Oh, dude, I've been there 13 times, I think, in an 18-month period.
So is it just...
So I was flying out to like San Jose, San Francisco, Santa Cruz, where, Trick or Treat Studios is.
Nice. My sister does that with Florida. She goes there like 3 times a year, so she's there. It's just like, people just, they have a spot they always like to go to,
Well, there's so much to see in the world, but there's so much to see even in our own respective countries. Amazing.
Yeah, so, alright. I got this thing here. It's a bit of Halloween 2018 news.
Nice.
So I'm going to read that. I'm not going to read this whole thing, actually. It's because it's not really a quote from Danny McBride. It's just bloody disgusting. Shout out to them for finding this. They kind of got some info here. And pretty much it says that Halloween 2018 is going to be delayed in filming till January. Seems like they're having a bit of a casting call problem or something like that. And,
I won't return the calls, so sorry for causing you delays, guys.
Yeah. Well, it still says they're looking for extras and all that, and actors and shit, so... And then it says that later that we'll probably find, in the next coming weeks, they'll have more casting news and shit like that. So it seems like a casting deal. It sucks that it got pushed back, but... hopefully they're just working to make it as best as they can and shit, because we need a good Halloween movie. Not that the Rob Zombie ones were bad, but this time you're getting something that's, like, new and completely different. I know Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 was, but, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it doesn't push the release date, release it in October, 2018, I'm happy, right? Like, whatever, right? So, And
yeah,
then when it comes to the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, that's an entire conversation.
Oh my God, yeah, the horse has no legs, head.
Every once in a while, I post a comment about that. You know, the people that do whine how Rob Zombie ruined the Halloween franchise, and I kind of mock them because I mean, hey, Busta Rhymes, right? Come on,
yeah.
Let's just lighten up a bit.
And I have a soft spot in my heart for every Halloween, but it's like I guess I just don't care, and even for the ones that I don't like as much as the other, I don't care enough to go on like a forum and be like, yo, that one sucked. Like, dude, I was looking at like just old threads and shit, and this still happens, but like there was people on there saying like, you know, Rob Zombie's, I don't even want to say it, but they're making like death threats and shit, like, oh, he needs to fucking die. Like, this,
I know, it's a
like,
movie, dude. It's a movie.
Yeah,
just don't watch it. Well, even like the Ghostbusters remake, you know, before that was released, oh my God, they have females as the leads, and let's boycott it. They had petitions. Like, really?
Yeah, boycotting is going too far. I said to myself, I think I've never seen a Ghostbusters with women, so I mean, maybe I'll wait for the DVD or something, but never did. And poor, what's her, the black actress there, Leslie, she had to quit Twitter because people were calling her, like, you know, all these
I know, that's
racist.
ridiculous. I thought it would be a neat spin on it, you know, and Kristen Wiig is, like, so hot. I'm like,
so funny.
I have a major crush on her, but...
they're all so funny, dude, and it's I just can't believe they bullied her to the point, you know, with all these racist names to the point where she had to get off. It's like, dude, you don't like the movie, whatever. Bitch about it on your Facebook and shit, but, you know, to call her some of the things they called her over a movie is like, you make yourself look so stupid.
Yeah, and it's like that with the Rob Zombie Halloween flicks. I mean,
exactly.
People like, you know, like I think I posted a meme on Instagram and Facebook recently, you know, the dude with the veins bulging out of his face in the classroom. Oh, I haven't talked about Rob Zombie in 5 minutes, how much I hate it, you know, or something.
Anytime I try to sell a Rob Zombie mask, someone's like, oh, that movie was trash. I'm like, thanks, just trying to sell a mask. But, yeah, so, anyways, back to the Halloween 2018 shit. Did you hear last week that they're altering the ending a little bit? I know you said you listened to the last podcast, so you probably heard that in there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did, yeah.
Yeah, so, like I said to Mike, I don't think they're going to, like, drastically change the whole end of it, because right in the same quote he says he doesn't want to fuck it up for the fans and all that, so I don't think they're going to... I don't think he's going to say that and then drastically mess up the whole ending, like...
Regardless of what they do, though, Alex, there are going to be camps that are, like, totally opposed to the decision, the direction they went, and other ones that'll say, yeah, this is good, you know, like...
You want to know what I was thinking?
There are a lot of people that are prepared to hate it already.
Right. I bet you could even be like, all right, all of you bind together and make the movie, and you do it your way, and then it doesn't matter because people are not going to feel your vision, so it's like, you just got to hope that more people like it, I guess.
I was thinking the exact same thing. You know, all the critics, you know, people can criticize, but you know what? Why don't you draft a script or even just an outline of your vision or how you think it should be? And, you know, have other people, like, you know, America, have the world, you know, sort of decide whether it's good or not. Like, see how that goes, you know?
Yeah, I've seen some people's ideas in there, and I'm like, oh, you're just a shit talker. Okay. But I'll tell you, I made a Halloween fan film, and it took like 4 years. I started it in 2008, and ended in 2012. I finally said, dude, because I was so sick of people being like, you're never gonna finish that. You're never gonna finish that. Like, why do you waste your time filming and shit? And like, you know, people were like kind of looking at the ground, like, are we wasting our time here? But anyways, you know, our main actress, Laurie Strode, she had issues I'm not going to say her real name, but she had issues in real life and stuff like that, so we kind of lost her early on, so I only had like so many shots of Laurie Strode, and then I had to fucking explain why Michael Myers never gets to her, so I don't know. But dude, if you don't think, like, if people think making a script or a movie is hard, like, it isn't hard, whatever, or they think they could do better, dude, I promise it's much fucking harder than it seems, you know? And these people have a big ass team and shit, but still, man, it's like everyone has to come together, and that was the biggest problem when I was filming, was that everybody has to come together, and not everybody's gonna be you know, around or on the same wavelength or whatever. You know what I mean? Whether it's physically that they have to be there or whatever.
Yep, that's so true. I mean, I even experienced that working with Darren Jones on Halloween Resurgence 5 years ago in 2012.
Yeah, that was sick, dude. How was that?
So much work was involved. And that was a great, fan film, I believe. And anybody who hasn't seen it, check it out on YouTube. But especially, I mean, I love the intro because it's very reminiscent of Halloween 4. I love that, but, it's a solid film. It runs about an hour. But there's so much work that's involved, but you're always going to have people that are like armchair quarterbacks, They're going to be critics.
Yeah, oh, of course, man. It's like, I said this to Mikey Aspinwall. I was like, years ago, I said, dude, you could have John Carpenter and Jamie Lee Curtis back, and people would still find something to bitch about.
Well, people already have been criticizing that too, like have been complaining.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, is like they're mad, and it's like that's what happened, dude. I mean, I know a lot of people, half of the people when I even said that back then were like, well, whatever with Jamie Lee Curtis, but if I could get Carpenter back, then yeah. And it's like, well, you got Carpenter back, and
now what? Yeah.
Yeah, just and he's doing the music too. That's gonna be sick, dude. I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, so
we need this. We need this shot in the arm.
Exactly, and I like the other sequels, but like I don't know. I want to see a new one, and I'm gonna be down to sculpt the mask too when it comes out. So hopefully we'll get a good new mask out of it.
I would love to see the Butcher. I love the look of the Butcher.
And that's funny you said that. That's actually Mike Aspinwall's favorite mask too.
Oh my God, Justin Mabry like the Butcher. Oh my God, yeah.
And you know what? Justin is such a Justin Mabry. Everybody, I think he's a president sculptor. I think for Tots and Trick or Treat Studios rather. That's the name of his company that does with Chris Efro. And if anyone should be able to, first of all, no offense to Justin, I love him. I don't think one of his existing masks should be in the movie. But I do think they should give the sculpting job to him. Like, hey, this is what we want. Here's our concept. Here, go ahead and sculpt it. Because, I mean, he's such, like, the pioneer of Michael Myers and indie stuff.
Yeah. I had the pleasure of meeting, actually, him and Chris Efro at Rob Zombie making for the movie. So that was very nice. They were actually very, very pleasant, very nice to meet them.
That's awesome, dude. I didn't know that. I got to meet like one of their representatives or something like that at a Rock and Chalk, one of the conventions. So that was pretty cool. But other than that, I've never. Honestly, I can't say too much about it. But Justin and I are talking about doing something. We're gonna hopefully do a phone conversation. I obviously can't say too much about it right now because.
I would love to hear Justin on your podcast.
Yeah, jumping the gun was... Well, actually, it doesn't have anything to do with that, but I was actually going to say that next, is that I would love to have Justin on the podcast, too, because I'm not looking for someone to...
He knows the history. He's been around. We have a lot of new people in the community, and that happens, right?
Yeah.
Justin is one of the older guys that's been around, so he could speak to a lot of the changes that have happened, and things have happened a lot in the Mask and the Myers community.
Oh my God, yeah, that'd be a wonderful podcast, and he's such a nice guy that it's like, like you said, he's so knowledgeable. So just everything that he would bring to the table. I mean, even in conversation, I wouldn't even ask him questions. I'd just be like, all right, go talk about where you started from.
Yeah, I could see that. He's got so much knowledge around the history and just his experiences.
All right, so you want to do some a few current events before we get out of here?
Let's do this.
All right, dude. I'm looking at them now, but do you know who Tyrese is, the rapper, and he's in the Fast and Furious things?
Vaguely, yes.
He's like
Canada, remember?
Yeah, that's why I asked, because it's like here you'd probably know him, but so anyways, he's like a singer-songwriter, and he's most famously known for the Fast and the Furious series. He's one of the stars in that. Well, right now, actually, I think he just won the custody battle, but he has like a nasty custody battle going down with his daughter and all that. The mom's accusing him of all this horrid stuff. I think Tyrese is cool as shit.
My heart goes out to him.
Yeah, I think Tyrese is cool as shit, man. Like I've always been a fan of him, so I'm not gonna sit here and trash him. But the point is, Do you know who Michael Blackson is? Probably not. He's an American comedian, and he's just now starting to pop again.
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, well, this is what happened, bro. So Tyrese put out a video that was like basically he cried a little bit, and you know, over the custody stuff. He was live, I think, so he let it get the best of him. His emotions got the best of him, and we witnessed a grown man cry. He was weeping and all this stuff, and Michael Blackson made a video on it and basically just trashed him. And
oh man,
yeah, so the other day there was a video that surfaced online, and it had Michael Blackson laying on Tyrese's couch tied up in like a rubber bag, or like a plastic bag, and he was like, you thought, you know, Tyrese is like, you thought it was funny, like this and that, you playing with a man's like daughter. And it's like, whoa, what's going on here? And then there's like a video of him taking him out of a club, like, you know, he has him by the neck and stuff like that, and he's making him walk to the car and stuff. People thought that was real, and they called the cops, and the cops went to Tyrese's house. It ended up being it ended up being a skit. But it's,
you gotta love social media, right?
well, I guess shout out to Tyrese for being able to laugh at yourself, because I mean, he was weeping in that video, and Michael Blackson, I mean, we all know he's an outlandish comedian that kind of trolls people, but dude, for a second I was like, wow, this is, not that they're like amazing actors, but it's like, what the fuck's going on here? This is weird, because you wouldn't think that Tyrese, in the state that he's in, would be down to, you know what I mean, do something like that.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see what else we got here. Oh geez, elephant crushes man to death after he tries to salute it.
Salute it?
He tried to salute it and it killed him. Alright, that's
I'm sure salute or not fillet, because I could understand if he tried to fillet it.
No, it says salute. S-A-L-U-T-E.
Wow,
yeah. Oh, and okay, here we go. Do you guys get like how's the news out there? Like, what do you guys, like, do you hear a lot of like Trump bullshit and all that?
Oh yeah, I think the whole world does. He's quite a spectacle.
Oh jeez. Yeah, BBD woman. One sec, I was just looking at something here.
It wasn't the Trump Twitter comment about Time Magazine Man of the Year, Person of the Year.
Oh no! I was just
okay, because that was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, there's always, every day there's something popping up, and the thing is, some of them are fake, so I don't know, like.
It's so hard to like sort out that stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Well, part of the reason it's hard to sort it out is because some of the shit you wouldn't put past him.
I know, things have gotten so ridiculous, and I hate to say that, but like, nothing surprises me anymore.
No. Well, here's an article. They keep showing viral, like, well, they go viral just because it's who she is, but Mallya Obama, like, this girl can't get out of the news for some reason. I don't know why they keep fucking with her, but like, all she is Obama's daughter.
Right?
Yeah, it's his daughter. Like, she was smoking or something, and now she's just, like, at some concert or a game kissing a boy. It's like, who cares?
Well, what about the Bush daughters, man? They partied hard all the time. Whatever, right?
Yeah. Weren't they sort of in the news, though? Like, a lot. They were, that was a crazy time there. Yeah, there's not much this week, except...
Michelle Obama. Oh, my God, Michelle Obama. She bared her shoulders. Oh, my God, she looks horrible, disgusting. Yeah, Melania's doing, like, lesbian photo shoots, you know, before she became First Lady. It's like,
right.
Please, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
That was a little extreme. It's like, I think there's, like, definitely multiple groups of people that are hating for different reasons. I mean, you can't deny that.
People will find what they're looking for, right?
Yeah, it's because it's Obama's daughter. I mean, if it was some random chick, then we wouldn't know who she is, and we wouldn't...
Who cares, yeah.
Right. But anyways, people need to let that go. I'm sick of seeing that. And here's another viral thing. I think this was more closer to Thanksgiving. I don't know if this was a real video or not, but did you see the aerial footage of the bumper-to-bumper traffic in Los Angeles?
Yeah, people are posting that on Facebook. I saw the bumper-to-bumper. Yeah, what was that all about?
Well, that's just, I think, their normal routine traffic for holidays or something, somebody was saying.
Yeah, it's a normal Tuesday or Wednesday, yeah.
My neighbor lives out there, and it was in his status, and he was saying, this is for real, this is what I gotta drive through.
God.
So...
Well, I have to say, though, driving in California is crazy. I can only speak to, like, San Jose down to, like, Anaheim, but, like, San Jose, the freeways, people apply brakes on the freeway. In Canada, we don't. People,
oh, wow.
You know, go into lanes and this and that. People are speeding up and braking all the time in California, I noticed. It's very crazy.
Jeez.
Very aggressive.
All right, so since there's not much, there's not really anything, like, of note this week for viral news, do you want to do some, like, mask do's and don'ts real quick, like we were going to do?
Oh, dude, yeah. I came up with, like, quickly, like, 14 kind of do's and don'ts that go from molding to herring, like, pretty much, like, one or two, like, sort of tips or whatever for each. I can't really talk too much about sculpting, aside from, like, maybe some retooling or something, but, yeah, I could run through some stuff if you want.
Yeah, shoot.
Okay, let's talk about molding. Number one, take your time prepping. Prepare your mold wall. You're doing a two-piece mold. You're dealing with UltraCal 30 or HydroCal. The stuff's done very quickly. So much of your time is done with just prepping the mold properly. And I'm sure you could attest to that, Alex.
Oh, God, yeah, it's terrible. And no matter... Don't, like... Just keep going, dude, because you might make a perfect... like wall, and then somehow you'll get some crack or a dry spot in the mold. It's probably because you're mixing wrong, so just keep going. Like I had to, it took me
going. That's the thing. You have to keep going, right?
It took me 5 or 6 molds to get like a clean mold that I didn't have to patch up.
Yeah, and I used master copies, so it's very forgiving as opposed to an original sculpt, which you've done that many times. But you know, a master copy. The killing machine mold that I made, the usable mold that I still use to this day was mold number 4 or 5. So that tells you how much UltraCal that I've wasted, right?
No, Jesus, yeah.
Yeah. For casting a mask, I think I've explained it before on Facebook that I use a 2-bucket method, a primary and secondary bucket. So like, well, there are 2 sort of methods that people use with the dwell method, where they fill it right up to the top, let it sit for 45 minutes or whatever, and then they pour it out, right? So it develops a skin.
Yeah,
like
I'm not a fan of that part, rather.
You know, you have to have a lot of latex to do that. I mean, I buy them in 5-gallon buckets at a time, but I use the slosh method, right?
Me too, yeah.
So what I do is, I have my primary bucket, which is the latex that I might tint or might not, and I let it sit in the bucket for a while so the bubbles kind of rise to the surface, so you don't get all these bubbles. And that's what I use for my outer layer that I slosh. When I empty out the mold, I put it into a secondary bucket, and that's what I use for like successive layers for the remaining 3 or 4 layers that I do, because it might have more residue and stuff. So I make sure that outer mold or outer part of the mask has like pristine latex that really like gets into all the nooks and crannies of the mold.
Right.
So that's my casting advice.
Very good advice. I've taken, like I said before Jeff came on, he's taught me a ton of shit. So basically whatever I know, I unless he said like, hey, this one's like, you know, between me and you, which he never really has because Jeff loves sharing shit. But unless he's ever said that, then I try to pass it on to other people too. So Jeff teaches a lot of people.
We've spent many hours, Alex, just like even messaging back and forth around molding at like 3 in the morning your time and midnight my time. You know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, man, it sucks. I'm up at like 3 in the morning. I'm like, Jeff, I just need to get this. Like, this just, if I can just.
Dude, do you ever sleep?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
You always tell me not to worry about it, and I never have to worry about it, but I still worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's worry. Well, molding is probably the most, I don't know, stressful part of the process, I think.
I got one for you.
Herring can be bad too, and so can trimming.
Well, I got one for you, since we're on the molding topic. What about mixing, bro? That's that's like one of the biggest ones. What do you think about mixing? Like, what's the biggest do and don't?
Okay, somebody recently told me that he has it down to measures in terms of the water and UltraCal, which I think is great. I use the mountain method. If anybody needs a good molding video, the Mark Alfrey video is like sort of the standard, right?
Yeah.
Where and also the temperature of your water. So, well, actually, with molding, here's another tip. I use a 2-bucket method. I use a warm bucket and a cold bucket. So the warm bucket is for that first drip coat. So I apply the drip coat so it sets quickly, and then the second bucket I start adding into the cold water, which I use with the burlap for reinforcing. So I have a bit more time to work with it. That explains it.
Yeah. Wow, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, so I have 2 buckets ready to go that I do with the mixing. I mix one first with the warm, and once I've finished, I mix with the cold, and that gives me more time to do that reinforcing layer.
And if you're not doing exact measurements, you were saying that it should, like, your first layer should be, like, a consistency of, like, what, a milkshake or something?
Kind of, yeah, sort of pancake batter.
Right, that's what it was, right. And,
yeah, and also when you do a 2-piece mold, it's different when the mask, like the sculpt or master copy is laying on its back, because you can get under the chin in that. If you do a 1-piece mold, it's different because it's standing up. So getting it to like stick to the bottom of the neck can be a real nightmare, and around the bottom of the ears and stuff.
Jeez, yeah. I that's what happened to...
Then there are resin molds, which is different too. Resin molds are interesting too, but they're totally different in terms of casting also.
Resin molds, I've never got into any... All I can do is, like, plaster, and I wanted to venture out and do that, but that shit looks so hard, man. Like,
yeah.
Because you got to mix those...
plaster molds for a while, then do the resin molds later, because it's totally different in terms of casting. You have to babysit that mold. It's crazy. And blow air into it constantly. It's nuts.
Yeah, and I'm not to say my molds are unprofessional, but I like doing more of like the wild, just like making a mold to get the casts, and I've recently tried to become more professional with it, but it's whatever.
Yeah,
so.
Over time, the thing is, I've learned more with my failures than with my successes when it comes to mold making and painting, with every step of the way, herring,
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to fail. But you can learn a lot from Alex and myself and other people that have screwed up. It can save you a lot of money and supplies too.
Yeah, so Jeff, where can they find you?
Where can they find me? Friend me on Facebook. I'm Jeffrey Mickey. I have a beard. It says in my profile, Headless Asylum Studios. I do have a Headless Asylum Studios page, which I haven't updated lately. But look me up on Instagram, Jeffrey Mickey, as well as that's my personal page or personal profile or whatever, and on Instagram as Headless Asylum Studios. You can find me on Twitter under Headless Asylum Jeff or Headless Asylum Studios. So I'm kind of all over the place, but I do post mostly on Instagram and Facebook. So feel free to friend me or follow me.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. It's been fun. Probably going to try and wrap up now. Yeah, man. We'll try to have you back, and hopefully, you can get back to your mask making soon, because you were killing it before, man, and then it just kind of, obviously, life happens, so I hope you can get back to it soon, man. I hope things work out for you soon. I know things are getting better, so I hope you got a good future in mask making ahead of you.
Thanks so much, brother.
Yeah. And, alright, that's going to do it for this week. As Jeff said, you know where to find him. I'm X Miller. I mean, that's like my stupid nickname, but I'm Alex Miller, and this is 45 Lampkin Lane. We'll see you guys.